Hello, today's video is going to be how to create your own thumbnail that is going to be catchy and drive traffic to your YouTube channel. I'm going to be using a free website called ipiccy. You can use whatever you like, but this is my favorite right now. What you want to do is start by creating a design. The size for a YouTube thumbnail is 1280 by 720, so you want to make sure to go to New and make sure you get a custom size. So 1280 by 720. If you're going for a solid background for your thumbnail, you can do that. I usually like to add a textured background, but if you don't have one, you can make your own or use a solid color. You would do that by just changing the color here, but for me, I'm going to keep it at white and click create. Next, what I'm going to do is start off with the actual background on the thumbnail. I'm going to go up here to add photo and upload an image. You can have a bunch of different types of backgrounds. I'm going to go with something like this, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to open that and drag this to the back. You can find tons of different backgrounds on Pinterest or just on Google, or if you guys are interested in actually using the backgrounds that I use, you can check out my digital art down below. Check them out. Anyways, so this is a background that I personally made. Once I add a background, I usually like to lock it, and to do that, you go to the layers and click lock, okay? So now you can't move it or accidentally delete it. I find that this really keeps my workflow top notch. Next, I'm going to decide what keywords I'm going to use for my thumbnail. So for instance, if you're doing a tutorial on how to take Instagram photos, you would want to put Instagram photo tutorial or just the keywords that you really want to grab people's attention with. Typically, when you're scrolling through YouTube, people don't look at the actual title that is typed out. That's why I always like to add words to my thumbnail because that's really what the eye is attracted to. So for this actual thumbnail, I'm going to be using it as the thumbnail to this video. So I'm going to be doing a thumbnail tutorial as my keywords. So I'm going to head and add the text, and I'm going to type in thumbnail. And here you can change the text. They have a bunch of ones that are available online for free. Some of my favorites are lobster. And if I scroll down here, I'll show you a couple other ones that I really do enjoy as well. Pacifico and Lekenly one. Those are my top three that I actually use that are from the actual website. I also have local ones that I downloaded from defont.com, and those are the ones that I really like to use. So we can see whichever ones you want to do. For instance, Bromelo, I really like that one. And then you can just resize it like that. But for the purpose of this video, because I know that not a lot of people have fonts downloaded, I'm just going to use ones from here just to make things easier for you guys. So let's do Pacifica, okay? Then you're going to make it nice and big. So if you only have 2 words, it's really great because you make them really big. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is I like to change the color to white, and where I really get creative is with the drop shadow, the stroke, and the bevel. So I'm going to start off with the stroke. I like to stick to either a color that is in the actual thumbnail. In order to do that, you can go to color, click on this little dropper, and then you can pick a color from your actual background here if you want to do that, or it's really nice instead of black to go with like a charcoal, something like that. It's really up to whatever you guys are looking for in your thumbnail. Just make sure that it really kind of contrasts with the white. And if it doesn't, I'll show you a couple tips to make it do so. We're going to go to drop shadow, and I like to change the distance to be a little bit closer. And then bevel is really where you're going to get that effect. So you're going to go here and you're going to decrease the shadows to make it pop out. Now, I kind of feel that maybe this color isn't the best. So to change the stroke, you go ahead here and you can change it to something a little bit different here. So I'm going to go with the charcoal color. And if you feel like maybe it's too thick, we're going to go here and change the size of that. Now I still feel like it needs something to pop out. I like to add these brush strokes that I made. I call them thumbnail paints. I have a whole bunch of different ones that I've created, and I like to stick to kind of the similar color scheme or colors that go pretty well with those colors. So I think I'm going to use the color Scout and open that up, and it's a transparent paint. I resize it, and you can rotate it to fit, and you just send backwards or bring backwards, and then it's underneath your photo. I think I really like the way it looks, and if you want to make it bigger, you can go ahead and do that. Perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to add my other text. You can use a different font if you'd like. Let's see how lobster looks. Okay. Scroll down here. See what other ones that I'm interested in for this. But typically, I do like to kind of stick to the same ones. That's just me. So I am going to go with Pacifico, okay? And we're going to increase the size of this. And I'm going to change the rotation up a little bit. Maybe a little bit tilted. Okay. Same thing here. Change the color. We're going to go into stroke, and I'm going to change the size of that. I'm going to do the drop shadow, bring the distance a little bit closer, and then we're going to bevel it and decrease the shadows right about there. So that one really pops out pretty well. Again, I'm going to add a thumbnail paint to this. Let's see. Take a look at my actual thing. So we've got a lot of pinks, a little bit of orange. Let's add a nice blue color. I think that'll really make things pop. I'm going to use the color Pool here. And right click and send backwards. And you know what's really good about these is I can actually double them. So I'm going to right click and duplicate it. That way I can make it a little bit longer. Beautiful. Yeah, so there's a thumbnail tutorial. I'm going to add a picture of basically everybody knows me from this picture, which is crazy because it's so outdated. I don't even look like that anymore. So thumbnail hacks. Let's see if I've got anything else I'd want to add. I'm going to do a little bit of a thumbs up just to kind of fill in these gaps. I find that you don't want to make it too cluttered, but you also don't want to make it so gappy, I suppose. So I do think that I can increase the size of thumbnails since I don't have too much to add to this. And then I am gonna change this to duplicate it. That way it just fits a little bit better. All right. Beautiful. So I think that's it. That is basically how I create my thumbnails. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, definitely let me know down below. And if you are interested in using any of the elements that I have here, you can find them available for purchase on my Etsy listings. They're super cheap. I did a lot of work on these and creating these to look very realistic and to bring a certain style to my thumbnails, and I'm giving them to you guys for super cheap if you are interested. If not, you can find a ton of different free resources on Pinterest. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye!